Senior correspondent and former FBI Assistant Director John Miller joins us. John, take us to the crime scene. What are they looking for? What do they hope to find? What will it tell them?
Well, as Anna told us, they were going to release it. Their plan was to give it back today, but the defense is going to want to look at it. That's going to take time. But authorities also want to do some much more advanced crime scene work using the newest tools to figure out bullet trajectory, but also to be able to go back to that crime scene virtually as many times as they need to and literally ask it questions. I'm trying to figure out, what does that mean? Yesterday I talked to Hal Sherman and from the NYPD crime scene unit, and he said they'll use a tool like this, the Nikon 360, Nikon station tool, or the Leica version, where they will go in and map the evidence points in a scene like this one. We used a theater as our backdrop to show what they would do. Then they can take that mapping, which is measured digitally with lasers, and they can take, say, ballistic evidence, and then where the shell casings are that show them where the gunman was standing, they can snap that tool on, and it'll actually show them the trajectory of the bullets. Then they can take the witness statements, add in where people say they were and what they were doing, and you can turn this around 360, you can flip this from different views, you can do exact, precise measurements showing everything. And when you get in front of a jury and you have those witnesses testifying, when you're doing your ballistics, all of this can be enormously helpful.
So it's important to make the case in court.
Well, it's important to make the case in court, but it's also important to learn what happened. You know, Henry Lee, who is one of the premier forensic scientists ever, said, with a lot of things in life, you get many chances. Marriage 2, 3 times, but with the crime scene, you get one shot. What these kinds of tools do is they give you a second and third shot to go back to that scene with a 360-degree digital image that sees the whole thing. You can look at it from any angle, you can measure from any angle, and you can go back and literally add scenarios in and take them out. For instance, a person says, I was standing here when I saw this. You can tell from the reconstruction, if you were standing there, could you have seen that, and so on.
That's fascinating stuff. There have been a lot of questions about the money that was used to purchase the guns and the bullets. I know you have a little bit more information on that this morning.
So we got the return from our Freedom of Information request from the National Institutes of Health, which is a federal agency in Bethesda, and they broke down the grants for us. So NIH gave our suspect $21,600 in a total grant. He also got $5,000 from the University of Colorado. The idea is when you're working on a PhD, you are so intense you don't have time to have a job. So this was dispersed in monthly stipends of $2,216.67. This was his only known income. So this brings up, you know, in the most unintended consequence possible, what you have here is the specter of a federally funded shooting, because this appears to be the money he had access to during the time he was planning this.
There's a gag rule in effect now?
There is. The district attorney sat down with authorities. The judge gave a rule saying you had to stick to the very conservative rules of what you could say in a regular case, but the district attorney's gone beyond that and asked them not to say anything, so all comments will be coming through the DA's office.
So as far as we know now, nothing has come from the mouth of the suspect?
No, but I've been looking around this case from other angles, and you know, they had high hopes for that computer. Now, they were just able to mirror that hard drive on Monday, which means their first real chance to start to go through it was yesterday. No headlines out of that. They have a lot more computer forensics to do, but from the computer examination, so far, no sign of a motive. From the interviews of friends and associates, while there are different theories of things that could have come together to make a motive, there's no one that exceeds another. It's still unclear as to why this happened.
Thank you, John.